And good morning. Welcome to Timeless Personal Growth and Development. Today I'm going to be talking about ADHD in children and the misunderstanding about ADHD and what people get wrong about ADHD and proper way to deal with it. Oh, what is ADHD in children? We hear that all the time. Oh, this kid's on ADHD. Let's put him on meds. Like, oh yeah, that's always the go-to response. Oh, got this kid. Can't sit. He can't focus in school. They got ADHD. What do we do? Well, let's drug him. Let's put him on meds. And I don't think people, parents, or sometimes even professionals understand what ADHD is. You hear ADHD all the time. You hear like, oh, it's just a kid who had a lot of energy. Like, no, dig deeper than that. It's a kid with a lot of energy, can't sit still, can't focus. Why? Like, think about it digging deep into it. What is it? It is a issue with your dopamine function in your brain. It's a neural problem in your brain. Yes, it can be. Some kids are more susceptible to ADHD. Some will be born with it, but a lot of it has to do with our environment and our lifestyle. It's a malfunction of the dopamine system in your brain, and it can be cured. It can be helped. It can be helped with meds, but also can be helped without medication. It can be helped with other aspects. It's also, some people have a genetic predisposition for it. There's some kids it could be problematic based on their lifestyle, what they do. You plop a kid in front of a screen all day, they're going to have problems focusing. Yes. Why? Well, you go to these parent-teacher and and they say, oh yeah, okay, this kid has problems focusing, let's put him on medication. Have a problem focusing in class. He can't sit still. He can't listen to math instructions, and he can't English instructions. He's moving all the time. Like, he has no interest in the topic, and that's it. Right there. That's the beginning of the problem. He has no interest in the problem. I said he because typically ADHD affects more boys than girls, but he is having a problem focusing because he doesn't have any interest in the topic that he's learning. No interest. Oh, okay. But if you put this young boy in front of his favorite video game all day, he can sit there for hours on end and he has no problems focusing. Interesting. Why? You put yourself in front of your favorite video game all day, what's happening to your brain? Your brain's being stimulated. In a video game, you can upgrade, you can build your skill level, you're getting a constant stream, a hit of dopamine. Bam, 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 all the time. If you're doing that, if you're playing games as an adult too, not just as a kid, but if you're doing that 7-8 hours a day, you're gonna have problems with your dopamine function in your brain, and you're going to be in situations. You're going to be in situations that are not very stimulating, and you're going to be so restless and always looking for that hit, always looking for that next stimulation, because your brain is so occupied and so used to being overly stimulated with dopamine all the time, it cannot handle being in an environment where it's not stimulated enough. That's the issue. So a boy who's in front of Netflix all day, in front of his iPad or whatever all day, and getting that kind of dopamine hit all day, and then he's in school all day, he has to focus on subjects that are a little less interesting. That's why he'll have a hard time just sitting still. Physical activity will help greatly with that. Greatly. But the answer of putting your kids on meds should always be the absolute last resort. Always. Always. And there are certain aspects, certain habits you can build in your life as a parent or as a professional or as a child, and you could teach your child to develop these habits. Limit the amount of screen time they have. It's okay to have screen time. It's okay for that stimulation of the brain. Having screen stimulation is actually good in very small doses. Extremely, extremely small doses. It can help. If you're doing it to an extreme level, anything at an extreme level, where getting a constant kick of dopamine is going to be problematic. We as adults, we have that problem all the time. We're always in front of a screen, and I feel like you're looking at me in a screen right now. Get off, go do something productive. We're always looking at a screen. I have such a hard time just sitting still and being bored. And kids with the ADHD have a huge problem being bored. They're being bored. They're running all over the place. It's up to no good. Like, let them be bored. Let them creatively find a way to entertain themselves. Kids with high levels of ADHD need a lot of physical activity. They need a proper diet. A lot of the foods that you'll eat will improve. A healthy diet could improve your ADHD, or it can cause more problems with your ADHD based on a healthy diet for your child as well. Also, cold showers, cold baths. And why are cold baths benefit you? Because it kicks the adrenaline system up, kicks that adrenaline system. So when you wake up in the morning and you're really tired, you're exhausted, what's your go-to response? Well, have 2-3 coffees. Try getting into a cold shower. You'll feel up, you'll feel awake. Why? Because that cold shower, that cold water, being in that cold water will trigger adrenaline in your body. And yes, that adrenaline will help ADHD. Not doing it every single day, but doing it maybe 2-3 times a week, getting into that cold shower, because your adrenaline will spike and then you'll come down. And then you'll feel relaxed. You'll feel more focused. Kids with ADHD need to develop the ability to focus. And the ability to focus all comes down to rebalancing your dopamine system. Getting away from screens, having exercise, having a healthy diet, living a healthy lifestyle, building healthy habits. And if none of those things work, then medication is an option, but should always be the absolute last option, because what are you essentially doing? Putting your kids on Ritalin. Ritalin is a drug. You're putting your child on drugs. And it's been proven that Ritalin and drugs will change the brain chemistry of your children. And is that what you want? Or we want to develop healthy habits. So those healthy habits help rebalance that dopamine system so you don't have to put your child on drugs. Yes, with ADHD, there's different varying degrees of severity of it, of course. Yes. But always try and use medication as a last resort. Yes. When you go to see the doctor and like, oh, my kid has ADHD, oh, we're gonna find the right. Parents always have the hard time finding the right balance to the meds too. It can be problematic. You don't want your kid to be a zombie, but you want them to focus and all that. Try leaning in towards healthier habits and relying on drugs. Because kids with ADHD, it's all about the function of the dopamine system. Don't forget that. It's like, oh, kids can't sit still, they don't have a lot of energy. They have a lot of energy because their brains need to be stimulated. But they need to develop the ability and practice and build up the habit of being unstimulated, by allowing the brain to be calm and not stimulated, to be able to practice and build their stamina and be able to handle a less stimulating environment. On that note, thank you so much for watching. Like this video, like and subscribe. Timeless personal growth and development. I'll see you all in the next one. Have a good one.